she was is being honest. She's very smart, and she was being honest. I mean, she's into the price of groceries, the price of food, the price of beef, and it hasn't been her thing, but she's surrounded by very good people, and she said that she's totally for the military. I mean, she's going to do what the military wants, and really what the president wants. She understands that national security is my thing, and she is a terrific woman who answered. I watched that. I thought it was a very honest answer, actually. Yeah. We're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on the ballroom, and it's all from people like me and great companies that are putting it up. It's going to be close to $400 million, and it's all paid for by patriots and patriotic companies, big companies. I'll name the companies probably over the next couple of weeks, but I want to ask if they mind. And really, most of them said you could use my name gladly. So it's all money, no taxpayer money for the ballroom at all.
Did you direct Secretary Messin to intervene in the bond market?
No, not at all. No, he's a very capable man. He wanted to do it. He's very good at it. He has a good touch, very good natural touch for the bonds and interest, and I did that, yeah.
The yields have come back up since then. Have you talked to him about another type of intervention? Is that something he will be doing?
We have many types of intervention. That's one. The ultimate intervention is our military. And if we have to use that, we will. Yeah.
The move on beef imports is upsetting some ranchers, as well as some Republicans are asking you to delay that move on imports.
Well, we want to get the beef prices down, so we'll get them down a little bit. And that's what people want. That's what the voters want. And that's what I want. The ranchers are great. They're my people. I love the ranchers. They've done a fantastic job. But they admit that we need a little help, and in order to get the prices down. So that's what we're doing.
We're hearing that MAGA Inc. is going to start spending your war chest. What races are you putting money into, sir?
Well, I've raised a lot, and nobody knows what it is, but I will tell you it's about $850 million. And I'll be spending a lot of that money and my own money, but I'll be spending a lot of that money for candidates that I think are good, Republican candidates that I think are good. So when you add the $850 million to all of the other money that we've raised, we're in very good shape.
There are several Republicans who are running for midterms this year who are starting to come out against AI data centers. Why do you think they're taking a different approach than you
are? Who are they, you know?
The Senate race in Ohio is one example where it's become a very hot topic.
Well, the data center subject to me is a pretty simple one. If you pick the right location, and it's got to be, not every location is perfect, but you pick the right location, what it means for a community is jobs and lots of money and lower taxes. And the data centers now are mandated by me that they build their own electricity, so they're not taking it from the grid. It's going to lower the electric cost because they're building electricity. And the extra, as an example, we talked about this one. I'm very proud of it. It was my idea. They're going to build their own electric producing facility. And that electricity that they have left over is going to the grid. It's going to lower the cost of electricity. So if I were a community, I would want the data center. It means jobs, it means income, and it means lower taxes. No, I want them to do what they want. Some people feel differently. I really want them. If a Republican's against the data center, that's okay with me. I'm only saying that if I ran a community, now there are different types of communities, but generally speaking, if I ran a community, if I was a mayor or if I was a governor of the state, I would want to have data centers because they bring tremendous income. They're clean. They produce their own energy. The new ones are producing their own energy. I would want to have data centers.
National debt, as you know, it's surpassed $40 trillion. Have you been discussing what to do about that?
I have, and it's been a problem for 35 years. And what we have now that we never had before, we had a pretty good piece of it in my first term, as you know, is we have tremendous growth. And the way you take care of debt is with growth. And we have tremendous growth. We've never had growth like we have right now. The growth will take care of that very easily.
Mr. President, question about it. Mr. President, on that, you feel which countries did you
a few countries, but they're going to be sending in the highest quality beef, and it's something that we need. What else? By the way, are we going to miss Caroline? I'm going to miss her. Let me have that. So here are some headlines, and Caroline, I got to stand next to her. I feel so good with her. These are incredible headlines that just came out over the last 24 hours. It's probably easier if I show them to you than reading. But basically, the biggest refunds ever given on tax. That's big. From tax refunds. Jumped 17 refunds increased by 43 billion. That's money that the government is giving back to the people. $43 billion. FBI had the biggest violent crime drop in 90 years. These are today's headlines. Trump administration marks 15 straight months with zero border releases as apprehensions went so. They've never had anything like that. So you had 15 months with zero people going through our border. I don't even know how that's possible. They're doing a good job. Maybe you? Scott Jennings, sir. Scott Jennings is good. That one right there. My friend from Iowa. But I don't know, maybe she doesn't bother. I don't know, maybe Margot. What do you think of Margot? Maybe Margot. Let's see, who do we have in this group? I will tell you this, and Caroline will tell you this. I have never had so many job applications in my life. They all want that job. They love that job. She's made that job very glamorous. No, not at all. It just means that we're seeing what happens. They have no money. They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. They are not paying their soldiers. They're not paying their police. They have 350% inflation. So we're just going to sort of see what happens. And we have total control, as you know, of the border. We have total control. If you look at the blockade, we have total control of that entire region having to do with the Strait of Hormuz. And that means well into it, the land areas. So they would love to make a deal, but they're not ready to make the right deal, in my opinion. Yeah.
With Canada, have you come to a deal there? Or
I think so. We'll see. I've dealt with the Prime Minister, have a good relationship. And we have to take care of our farmers. The farmers are very important to me. And the deal with Canada is moving along, and we should be able to have a deal with Canada. We're also starting on a new deal with Mexico. A much better deal for the United States. I only make good deals. Much better deal for the United States, both with Canada and Mexico. Thank you very much.
President Trump sounding off on the progress made against Iran, while also warning about the threat Tehran's nuclear program posed to the world.
I think we're doing very well. We are letting people know about that. We're letting people know that, you know, it's wonderful to say everything's good, but you can't. If you had a country like that, and they're crazy, if you had a country like that, they would absolutely use the nuclear weapon without question. And so I stopped that, and I stopped the call with the B-2 bombers.
Joining me now to discuss this is former NSC Chief of Staff under President Trump, Alex Gray. It's great to see you this morning. You know, we're calling this economic D-Day on Iran, isolating them, putting them in the corner, ramping up the economic pressure and sanctions to an extent they've never experienced before. But let's be honest, Alex, sanctions against Iran are nothing new. So should we be confident that they're going to work this time? Is there something different about this round of sanctions that we're talking about?
Well, Lydia, I think the biggest difference between now and a couple months ago is that President Trump has shown, contrary to Iran's expectation, contrary to media expectation, that he's not going to give in. He is not going to walk away, even if it's politically inconvenient in the United States. And people continue to forget, because Iran's an authoritarian dictatorship, because they can absorb a lot of pain, that doesn't change the fact that the U.S. blockade is working. It is doing exactly what it was intended to do. It is putting enormous pressure on Iran's economy. And their out has always been the assumption propagated by many in the U.S. that President Trump would just cut and run as he got close